20,000 tons deadweight or more. New SOLAS regulations require that emergency towing procedures are provided on all passenger ships by the year 2010 and all existing cargo ships by 2012. Harbour operations have their own specific challenges. With heavy traffic and limited manoeuvring space, vigilance must be maintained. It is important to remember that most harbour towage operations are conducted under contracts which impose liability upon the owner of the towed ship for loss and damage that occurs, even if this arises as a result of the fault of the tug. This imbalance makes it particularly important for those on board the towed ship to do everything within their power to ensure that the towage proceeds without incident. Planning should include an assessment of the worst-case situations and actions that should be taken by all vessels. The aim should be the safety of personnel, the tugs and the ship, as well as damage limitation. Before the operation begins, the master must be satisfied that tugs are adequate for the task. During the operation, it is crucial that both tugmaster and the vessel's pilot understand the constraints under which the other is operating. For instance, many vessels have a minimum speed at which steering control can be maintained. Does the pilot understand the power of the tug? This is important if he is to ask for full power.
Roger, full power.
From the bridge of a large vessel, the tug will frequently be hidden from sight. The tug master should keep the pilot informed about his manoeuvres. When casting off, as the line is slackened, the swell will often drop the tug and tighten the line. This can be dangerous for the deck crew on the larger vessel handling the line. It is essential for the tug master to remain vigilant and release the load quickly if injuries are to be avoided. Deck crews must keep well clear of tow lines as weight is put on. There are often other tasks, such as preparing mooring lines, to be accomplished nearby. The danger here is that concentrating on their other tasks, deck crews may fail to see the line moving towards them until too late. Loss of a leg is a heavy price to pay for a moment's carelessness. The tug is always vulnerable to being damaged or overrun by the larger vessel. One of the greatest moments of danger for the tug is when picking up a tow line from the bow. The vessel's overhang can make it difficult for the tug to close. At speed, the tug's steerage can be affected by large bow waves. Hydrodynamic forces can push the tug away and then suddenly suck it into the bows. At this point, it is possible for the tug to be overrun. By operating at a safe speed, this interaction can be reduced. All in all, this is a vulnerable position that needs to be cleared as quickly as possible. Bulbous bows can be dangerous to tugs, especially when the vessel is laden and the bulb underwater, or when operating at night. The vessel master must make the pilot aware of any underwater obstacles, and warnings should be clearly marked on the vessel's hull. Bow thrusters can also be hazardous. Warning must be given before they are used. When making fast at the vessel's bows, a heaving line should be used that is long enough and light enough to allow the tug to stand off a little. When the line is acquired by the vessel, its deck may be out of sight of the tug. The tug's crew need to know when the line has been made fast, as it cannot leave its station until this is confirmed. It is not unusual for a vessel's deck crew to walk away without informing the tug that the line is made fast. This leaves the tug stuck in a potentially dangerous position, unable to move for fear of injuring the vessel's crew. When casting off at the stern, it may be tempting to drop the line onto the tug's deck below. But with freeboards of 6 meters or more, a heavy tow rope will acquire enough energy to seriously injure the tug crew below. It may also foul the tug's propulsion system if released before the tug is ready to take the line. It is important that the towing line is lowered carefully, and that any messenger line is not released until the tug is in a position to retrieve it safely. Many injuries have been caused by throwing weighted heaving lines onto a tug's deck. Heaving lines should contain no additional weight within the monkey's fist. Stern tugs in the escort role can suffer from loss of power, as the wash from the vessel can disrupt the propulsion system on the tug. It is essential that the vessel increases power only when the tug is ready and in the escort position. Equally, when a pilot or master goes astern or ahead without warning, the tug can be pulled towards the vessel. Any significant change to engine speed, direction, or rudder angle must be notified in advance and acknowledged by the tug master.
Warden, push on easy power.
Clearly, successful operations depend on effective communications between all parties. Tugs, bridge teams, and ship's deck crew fore and aft. Each speaker must identify themselves and keep transmissions short and to the point.
Madeline, always here to come out onto the port quarter for a lift. Roger.
Most pilots have a portable radio, and this should be tested with the tug before operations begin.
Just testing my handheld radio. How do you read?
Misinterpretation can lead to an accident. The pilot's orders should be clear, have only one interpretation, and be addressed to a named tug. The tug master should acknowledge the instruction and identify his tug.
10 axle ready for lift.
10 axle ready for lift, thank you.
The difficulty of communicating directly between deck crews on the vessel and those on the tug makes it inevitable that hand signals will be used by both. Standard signals exist to ensure a common understanding. All crews should know them and use them. Stop, danger. Emergency stop. Take the strain or hoist slowly. Raise or heave away. Lower. Secure, make fast, or it is made fast. When operating offshore, the longer timescales make planning and risk assessment more important still. There is more time for weather to change, more time for equipment to fail, and assistance is further away if required. What is the condition of the vessel or rig to be towed? Is it light or is it loaded? What are its draft,